people of Earth. Welcome to a brand new episode of FREAKQUELS. I'm your host, EJ Leeson, and with me today is one of the most incredible men I've ever met in my life, Rory Colorasi. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
You
How
look
about yourself?
fantastic.
Oh, you look fantastic.
You look fantastic. You cut it out.
Dude, the way the light's hitting your face right now, I just want to kiss it.
The way you're creeping out of the darkness, I just see your eyes, and it's great.
That's how we sum up our relationship. Me creeping out of the darkness.
And with us today is the youngest of young, Vince, the Podkeeper. What's up, buddy?
Hello, boys. How you doing today?
Good.
Y'all are on fire today.
We are on fire.
We're on fire. I like it.
Oh,
Good.
literally, I'm on fire. Hold on a second. Okay. That was sticky. That was like bad, like early morning radio.
I love it. Love it.
Good.
Rory just put himself out because that boy, he's a hot one.
I know how to put out.
Yeah. You should be on Hot Ones. Just putting out right after each interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it's
Hell
going to go down.
Yeah. But, so what's up, guys? What's new with you guys? Anything cool or crazy?
Same old, same old. Uncle Sal's gone, so I have my freedom back. Life is good. Didn't have to pick Rory up from prison this week, so I got an open schedule. All is good.
I might need you tomorrow.
That's fine. Hey, man, I appreciate you letting me know ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got back from Salem. Spent Halloween in Salem. That
That's
was fun.
incredible.
Yeah.
What
How
did you
was
do
it?
there?
What did I do?
Yes.
Got blind drunk and I don't remember a thing.
Oh, that's the way to do it.
No,
that's, that's the way to go about
Yeah.
Salem.
Yeah, man. There was a lot of money for something I don't remember, but here I am, fresh as a daisy.
Were you there for the witch trials, or how did that? What was in Salem? What was happening?
Yeah, did you travel back in time for that?
I did. That's actually what I went there for. There's this guy there. His name is Ronald Hickenacker, and he has actually developed the very first time machine.
Oh.
I went back in time, and you'd think that I would try to do the right thing with the witch trials, but that's not what happened.
I know you. I knew you wouldn't do
No.
that. Right.
He's like, Rebecca Nurse, get her.
Deep cuts with EJ Leeson. Historical deep cuts.
Get her.
But seriously, I really wanted to keep history the way that it was. So
Right, of course. Of
that's
course.
what I was thinking about.
But how was Salem? Like, I know you've gone there.
Beautiful countryside. What are we talking about?
It was lovely. I've actually done it the last like 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Like, you did it. This is probably like your fifth time.
About fifth time,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I love Halloween. I'm like such a huge Halloween fan, and I just like to find ways to recapture that feeling of before life broke me
Yeah.
and made me feel like I didn't have anything left to care about.
I'll get there someday.
Yeah, Salem doesn't work, by the way.
No,
Nothing does.
It doesn't.
Nothing.
You get a little
feeds
hope.
it.
No, you get some hope on the way there, and you're like, I'm gonna feel something today, and then you get there, and you're just dead inside.
Nothing. Just
Nothing.
dead inside.
No.
For the listeners, yesterday was Halloween, so everybody celebrated. Rory was in Salem. What did you do, buddy?
I had like a crazy October. It was just busy, nonstop. I went to a wedding, the first weekend, and then I went to some birthday parties. I threw a Halloween party, which was awesome. And then
You actually wouldn't let me in.
yeah,
I showed up and I was like kind of tapping on the glass, and then he like pulled the blinds closed.
yeah,
That
I just-
tracks. That
yeah.
makes sense. I
Yeah.
would. Yeah, I get
I
that.
was like, how did he know? And then we also I went to see Rocky Horror, like the stage play at Little Theater.
Very
and
cool.
The cast was incredible.
Was there anybody in the cast that wasn't? Do you have their names, and can we shame them?
Yes. Here, I wrote
you.
all of them down.
Thank you.
And at the end, you can read them off.
thank you.
And it's alphabetical, too. So.
Oh wow, these are extensive.
It's a lot of names.
Yeah,
It's a lot of names.
you name names.
Yeah. But yesterday, I worked last night, so I actually got to watch a couple horror movies before I went. I watched Halloween 3, Season of the Witch,
Awesome.
and
Nice.
Bride of Chucky.
Very underrated movie.
Yeah, I love it. It was awesome. My girlfriend Robin has never watched Halloween 3 before, so this year she watched Halloween 2 for the first time and Halloween 3.
Nice.
So yeah, so she was really pumped. and she dug it. She thought it was cool, like as a standalone story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one I've avidly defended since I was a child. Halloween 3. Yep. I saw some horror movies for the October season.
Yeah.
This weekend specifically, there's a lot of them. I saw this movie called The Innocents that I recommend 100%. It's actually like a Criterion film. And it was weird because I was watching it and I was like, I know this story. And why do I know this story? It's actually, did you ever watch The Haunting of Bly Manor?
Oh, no. I've been dying to watch it.
Okay. So I'm a big, as you are too,
Yeah.
huge Mike Flanagan fans. So I watched, Haunting of Bly Manor, and I loved it. And I'm watching The Innocents, and he's like, oh, you'll be staying at Bly. And I'm like, Bly, what is that? And then they started saying, like, the characters' names, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Is, like, Bly Manor, like, a remake of The Innocents?
Yeah.
Weird. Because it is. It's the same story.
Well,
it's fantastic.
Even, like The Haunting of Hill House, right? The first season that he did was based on The Haunting.
Yeah.
The Liam Neeson movie that came out in the 90s.
Liam Neeson.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
There's another one before that.
Yeah, there was another one too. But that one specifically.
Yeah. Which I also. It was in October, but I think it was in September. I actually did revisit that one, the original.
Yeah.
Of The Haunting. I also went to a drive-in that shows specifically 35 millimeter prints, which is like
awesome,
dude. It was amazing. Like, so we have this this
Both
drive-in.
of you just feel free to nerd out.
I'm
right
going
now.
to
Just go.
Dude,
just go
I
hard.
have to show you this thing later. It was this drive-in in Lehighton, the Mahoning Drive-In.
Yes.
And they were showing Frankenstein meets the Wolfman on 35 millimeter, so it's like an actual print. So I get there and I walk into the little area to buy some concession, and I see that there's a door that's actually the projection room, and I just knock on the door. I'm like, can I just look inside this place? So they brought me in.
The door marked private, do not enter.
Yeah,
You
probably. I
knocked
kicked
on
it
and went
open.
right in.
Dude, I walked inside. I literally felt lightheaded.
Pirate?
They had like
wonder if
I
there's
think
pirate
they're
in there.
yeah. They're like their projector. It's from like the 40s.
Wow.
So it's not even like one of those like projectors that has like the platter that you have to
Right.
like splice the film
And the
together.
brain and
It's
stuff,
like literally like you gotta look for those cigarette burns and get those reels on. And it was amazing. I took photos of it because I was like, can I take pictures of your projector because I'm a nerd.
Was it
But
hard to take the pictures with a full erection?
It was very hard to do. Very hard. Very hard. But they also, but the guy there,
I'm not sure if you meant the pictures or.
yes. No, it's cool, dude. The guy, I guess there was some piece of the movie that they cut. It was like the very beginning. It's at like Universal International, and he gave it to me.
Oh, was that the film that
So
you
I
were
got
showing?
actual
Yeah.
frames for the print. Yeah.
That
Dork.
is so cool.
But yeah, man, it was awesome. I was watching that movie, and it had all those perfect scratches and those pops and like the
Little burns in the film.
cigarette
and,
burns
yeah,
and the
okay.
yeah, man, it was just I don't know. It was like I know it's gonna sound really stupid, but I was like watching it because it was like a marathon of Universal monster movies, which we were huge fans of.
Right.
But I looked over it back and I'm like, I don't think I've been this happy in such a long time. Just like watching these.
That's good. I'm happy that you're
movie.
happy.
Yeah.
I'm just happy you got to feel feelings for a little while.
Yeah,
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I segue this?
Yeah.
So I spent Halloween yesterday trick or treating with the kids, and then got home, had a cocktail or two, and did the most Halloween thing I could possibly do. I sat in the dark and I watched The Nun.
Yes. Yes.
It was. I think I'm coming around on this, guys. I think I'm starting to get the vibe of this whole horror scene thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have we converted you?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Can't convert me.
We're almost getting. You're like foot's in the door.
My
right?
foot.
We're like
yes.
nuns trying
Yeah.
to convert
Yeah.
you.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, look at that segue.
Yeah. All right.
So
Yeah.
we're getting creative.
So yeah, you got to watch this movie last night.
And my wife has watched all of them.
The Conjuring universe.
The Nun, the whole thing, and she was like, "Oh no, I thought you guys are only doing crappy horror movies." I was like, "No, we did. I think we did a couple."
We're
She's
right
like-
on course.
But she was like, "No, this one's really good," and I'm like, "Okay, all right." And after watching it, yeah, I can. I'll hold it. But yeah, I agree with her a little bit.
Yeah. It's oddly enough. So the first time I saw this, right, I actually did not like it. I wasn't.
Me too.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about it. However, this is the second time I watched it for
Me too.
the podcast, and I was like writing this stuff out.
I think you and I may have had the same experience. Continue.
Where I was just like, this is way better than I remember. Like, I don't know. I actually, maybe I was a little too hard on it.
This is a beautiful looking movie.
Yes.
It's like shot really well.
Agreed.
There's some shots in that
that's
where
what
I'm
got
like,
me.
ooh.
That horse carriage coming in and that overhead shot of the horse carriage coming through and there's still a pan up from it. I thought that was beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing was beautifully shot. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's a problem with my second experience with this film that we're going to elaborate on.
Yes. Do you want me to tell it, or do you want to?
I'll start it off, and then you're going to say what your role in this whole thing is. So,
Yeah.
again, just got back from Salem, so that's like 5 hours for me. You know, between PA and Salem, Massachusetts.
That's a long
very long drive. So I was like, I need to go home. I'm going to take a quick nap, and then I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to watch The Nun before we do this because I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater back in 2018, the year of our Lord.
Yes.
So I'm watching it, and the power went out at some point during the movie. I'll let you know when it happens,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So I have a bunch of notes, and then they stop. So we're going to play a little bit of a game for all of you Freakquels fans at home. EJ, explain to the lovely people at home what we're going to be doing today.
Well, we thought that it would be kind of funny if we explained this movie, and maybe some of it's real, maybe some of it's not, and we're going to quiz Rory's knowledge. If he could remember, if he could somehow muster from the thin air what he can remember of the ending of this movie.
Yeah. Because I'm going to tell you, everybody at home, again, saw it in the theater. I don't remember anything about it. I remember something about the blood of Christ, and then I thought of the movie Demon Knight, and I thought it was a much better movie, and then I was like, I want to watch Demon Knight.
Yeah.
But that's a different story. That's
For
a
a
different
time.
episode.
Yeah. All right.
Next on Freakquels, Demon Knight.
Demon Knight. Yeah, no, let's get into, let's take that dive into The Nun. So the film starts off with a flashback to The Conjuring 2, by the way.
Is it a flashback or is it a flash forward?
Well, technically it would be a flash forward.
But
Okay.
it's literally a last time on The Conjuring.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And-
So it
yeah.
gives you like a little bit of a, oh, here's this character that we kind of introduced in Conjuring 2. Remember?
I had a moment where I'm like, man, it's not a good idea to show footage from a better movie. You know what I mean? And then I also noticed that I had to watch this on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And I saw the Return of the King was available to watch. And I was like, I wish I was watching that instead of this crap. But here we are.
But here we are.
Next on Freakquels, Return of the King.
But we instantly, as soon as they finish showing some of that stuff from The Conjuring 2, it jumps to 1952, Romania. So we see these two nuns approach this door that warns them pretty much to stay out. There's all these...
God ends here.
Yeah, God ends here.
God,
Even
stop
God
it.
wants nothing to do with
with
this
this.
movie.
Yeah. But they enter anyways. One kind of stays behind, and the one enters, and we see where she tosses a key out. And so the younger nun, she grabs it, and she actually tries to escape because that nun that went in gets pulled back in. So the other one is running through the hallways, the corridors, or whatever. It gets to this window, and but she ends up seeing the nun right behind her, and she jumps to her death, hanging herself. And I was like, wow, she really got that noose ready pretty quick, right? I was like, how long was she? I thought she just ran into.
She's
the
really good at knots.
Yeah.
She was a Boy Scout at some
Maybe
point.
it was a pre-planned.
Maybe.
thing.
Yeah,
That's
she
fine.
knew.
Yeah, she knew.
I don't know, when she hung herself, that's kind of like my thoughts after I saw it the first time.
Yeah.
Where I was like, man, why didn't I think of that?
What?
It wasn't that bad.
Well, that was a little.
First time.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got. You know, Vince, you're right. This movie was not worth hanging myself over. I want that to be like a blurb, you know, like on the poster.
Yeah.
2
It's like-
stars, not worth hanging yourself
Yeah.
over.
Rory Colorasi, prequels.
Prequels. So then we cut to this young gentleman who is bringing a bunch of supplies. His horse actually comes up.
Maurice.
Yeah.
Frenchie.
Frenchie, who is bringing all these supplies, and when he walks to the front of the abbey, he actually sees the nun, the young nun who jumped. She's hanging there in front with a bunch of crows.
Just picking at her
eating
face.
at her,
Nice.
her remains.
Did you find that line that he said kind of inappropriate?
What line?
He's like,
Which line?
He's like, Valak, one, God, none.
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 God, none.
Ah, you see what I did there?
I
made a stupid joke
You made
again.
a pun.
Nun pun.
Yeah, I made a nun pun.
Nun pun.
Nun pun. I hope you have more nun puns.
Oh, of course I do.
He's got nothing but none puns.
All I do is make puns all day long. They're sometimes more appropriate for like a grandfather that you purposely don't see.
Right, yeah. So, in Rome, we meet the character Father Burke, who's introduced to us, and he's informed by a council that this nun committed suicide in the mountains of Romania, and they want to send him there to this abbey and inspect it, investigate, see what happened, and he also will have a contact that he's bringing along, which is this young girl who's in London. So there,
And who is that girl?
that is Sister Irene,
Played by Tiasa Farmiga.
yes,
And I'm going to stop you here because this cast was phenomenal. Compared to most of the drivel you guys make me watch, this cast was fantastic.
She was
was
very
great.
good.
She
yeah.
was great.
Hey, do you recognize that face?
Yes, I do. And
Yeah.
I couldn't pinpoint what it was from.
Yeah.
What was it from? Is it something I
So
should...
she's related to Vera,
Vera
Farmiga.
Farmiga.
Okay.
and
Yeah.
she's in The Departed.
Okay.
Yeah.
The therapist.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's, I wonder if Vince is doing that thing where he's like, what? Do I know her?
Yeah.
Jonas Bloquet, who played Frenchie, he was awesome.
Awesome.
Everybody.
The first time I saw this, I was like, "Oh, this guy's so annoying." And then the second time watching them, I'm like, "Wow, he's actually pretty charismatic."
I was like, Ryan Philippe hasn't aged a day.
yeah.
It looks great. It looks fantastic.
And then Father Burke was awesome too, like the actor.
Damien Bichard. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there. I can't pronounce.
That was
Phenomenal.
insensitive that
Thank
you
you.
just mispronounced that
Yeah.
person's name.
He'll get over it. The,
So
mon-
he's
the money will
listening-
make.
He's listening right
listening.
now.
The money will make
He's
it
like, I was
worth it
listening
for
to this
him.
whole episode just to see if they got my name right.
And we didn't.
Oh man, they got Frenchie right.
They got Frenchie right, Maurice.
How
but yeah.
are we introduced to Irene?
Okay, so yeah, here in London, we actually get to meet Sister Irene, who's teaching a class of these young kids about dinosaurs. She's like, rawr, and then she's explaining dinosaurs to these young kids, and these kids are like,
Dinosaurs
asking-
weren't in the Bible.
Yeah, they're like, and she's like, well, they existed.
Penguins and polar bears weren't in the Bible, but they still exist.
But yeah, so she ends up meeting with Father Burke, and kind of informs him that she's never been to Romania. So when he was talking to the council, it kind of made it sound like, oh, she's going to be very familiar with the Romanian church, right? So when he meets her, she's like, I've never been there. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But he assures her that the Vatican has faith in her, right?
She
go.
came highly recommended for this mission.
Right. And also
Our
she,
roster for people to take on evil nuns, you were
Right.
highly recommended.
She also reveals that she never took her vows yet. Like, so she is still not
Technically a
officially-
nun.
Right.
Yet.
She wants to lay out her arc. You know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just plan it out for
Yeah,
you, so
she's
you
like,
know
here
what's
we
gonna
are.
happen.
Here's
Here we-
where it
yes.
starts. Get
Yeah.
excited. Am I gonna take my vows or am I not? We'll see.
And so, so she is, she is not yet a nun. And so they end up going to Romania, and Father Burke and Irene meet up with the groundskeeper, who is named Frenchie, that we mentioned before. And he reluctantly agrees to take them at first. He's like, no, I don't...
Can we not just blow past his...
Blatantly hitting on her and his
Yeah.
long
Oh, I was
johns?
just gonna say, like, he's like, no, I'm not going up there. It's crazy. It's evil. It's bad. He's like, hey,
Please.
please. He's like,
She like bats her eyelashes. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm on board.
he just like cartoon runs into his house and comes out dressed with like all his
Door
backpack.
shuts, opens up, fully dressed, top hat, 3-piece suit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know some like fun facts about that scene.
Is there? We're already there.
So no, this is real. I'm not making this up.
no, go ahead.
It says Frenchie was actually canceled later that night, betrayed by his goats, who knew a little too much.
Romania, where the men are men and the sheep run scared.
So after he, doesn't want to do it, he jumps. He's like, okay, I'll do it. So on their ride to the Abbey, they start to get to know each other a little bit, and they suddenly stop, and Frenchie says they must walk the rest of the way because the horse is too scared to
And
take.
I have to go back. I love that little comedy bit that they did where there's the truck and they throw their luggage on the truck.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the truck pulls away and he's standing by the horses and then the truck. I thought that was. I loved
Yeah,
that.
that
That
was
was
good.
perfect.
Do you
It
know
was
that
a nice little touch.
Did you know that horse also spoke out against Frenchie?
Go ahead. Do tell.
No, that's here's.
He sent out a tweet. He's like, cancel Frenchie. I've
Yeah.
seen stuff.
Yeah,
I know stuff.
He knows all sorts of weird things
Yeah.
about Frenchie.
The goats told me.
You guys are the goats
Yeah.
and the
I'm
horse.
good friends with the goats.
Yeah.
Hashtag justice.
Hashtag, yeah.
I just
Hashtag justice for horsey.
Yeah.
Horsey.
Just type it away.
That the horses the horse stopping, by the way.
Yeah.
When Becca and I saw this in the theater together, I literally like leaned over to her and told her that was gonna happen. I'm like, this is the part where the horse won't go further because it senses the evil of the Abbey. And then she said, "Shut up! I'm watching the movie." And I was
Stop
like,
talking through this.
and she hit me. And
hit you?
Oh, can we talk about this or?
No, we don't have time for that. Go
Okay,
ahead,
but I
EJ.
just want to say that
Let's blow past it. EJ, go ahead.
emasculated me really.
So, Frenchie lays out the lore, basically, of the Abbey. That it was bombed. There was a lot of spitting and bomb raids.
Some say the spitting was the worst part.
Yeah, because they're like, why? Why are people spitting? He's like, oh, to ward off the bad spirits. And they're like, oh, okay.
Are spirits germaphobes?
Yeah.
Very unsanitary.
I don't understand the logic there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Satan!
It's like, oh, no, not my face. Ooh.
My only weakness.
My only weakness. Germs, my only weakness.
He's a real germaphobe, that Satan.
I'm the Prince of Evil. God damn it, but I hate germs. Do you have sanitizer?
Hey, that I like that they went past the pet cemetery. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it did look like the Pet Cemetery. It really did.
I heard like Joey Ramone echoing in my head.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't want to be buried.
In the pet cemetery. Why do we make him sound like that?
I don't know. Why does he sound like this? He sounded British. He sounded like the Beats from like Doug.
Oh,
Killer tofu. So Frenchie also takes them to the supply hut, where he actually put the nun who committed suicide. And so they get in there, and he goes, hold on a second.
One more thing I have to tell you.
Yeah. The nun was I had her laying down, and so when they look at her, she's like sitting upright.
And then he was like, "Oh wait, no, I did sit her upright. Never mind."
Yeah, and but no, it's really funny because Father Burke's like, well, sometimes the dead bodies move.
Sometimes dead bodies will sit upright properly. Yeah.
Right.
I could okay, so I can buy that, but why is she reading a newspaper?
Right. And then he's like, oh, but she's been dead for so long. And then he's like, you're not really making the situation better.
Yeah, you're not helping.
Frenchie, could you shut the fuck up, please?
Did she make herself a cup of tea?
Right.
No, the dead do that.
Oh, they do that. Within 24 hours, they're still
Making
pretty
tea.
active.
She has like all her clothes on like a line.
They're habitual.
She did laundry?
Not
Oh!
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, man.
Right there.
Right on.
Oh,
You
thanks.
get your pun badge today.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I revoked it last time you were here, I believe.
Yeah.
I said no more puns for EJ. And you earned it.
Bringing some
I
heat.
got it back.
Here, take it.
Thank you.
It's yours.
Don't need it.
I just licked it.
Well,
It's
now I have to
mine
take it
now.
back.
So Father Burke, he inspects the frozen corpse, and he takes the key from her hand. Like, her hand's, like, frozen, just kind of like Jack Dawson in Titanic.
Petrified.
Yeah. And he's takes
Could
the
you
key
be a
out
little
of her
more
hands.
gentle with the corpse, please? He's like
But then-
breaking her finger up.
Yeah, I know.
I like how she's like, Father, what is it? And in my notes, I just put some kind of a MacGuffin.
It's a MacGuffin.
Probably Hitchcock fans out there.
But then he's like, let's give her a proper burial. And they're like, but you up her hand, man.
What about her hand?
But
In my notes, when it says we should give her a proper burial, I said I would have killed for like a hard cut of her. I'm just like dumping her into a dumpster. Just like,
she's in a wheelbarrow. And just go, off you go. And it just rolls down a hill.
sir, I don't think that's a proper burial.
I think so.
But we don't have time.
The time is of hand. So Frenchie then leads them to the spot where he found that nun hanging, that young nun. And they see, a bit of blood there on the steps. And
Still fresh. Still red.
Still fresh. And
Yeah.
they're like, what of this,
Shouldn't
why
have
is
tried.
it
Shouldn't it
red?
have coagulated by now? Shouldn't it be
Yeah.
brown? But no, it was red and it was
Yeah,
fresh.
it's like fresh blood. Yeah. So then they enter the abbey, and inside they meet the Reverend Mother, the abbess, who warns them to leave. But she tells them, they have their rules where all the nuns have to pray nonstop without any interruption.
A vow of silence from dusk till dawn.
Right. But she's not kicking them out. They could actually stay in the convent. And
Which is a terrible idea.
right. It's just like,
Was I the only one that wanted to set that nun up with the emperor?
Oh, they would make it. That's a power couple.
Wouldn't that be a power
Yeah.
couple? What if he was like, do you
Thanks.
want to do it?
do you want to do it? Execute Order 69.
We were synced up!
Yes.
Yes!
That's what I'm
Dude,
talking about.
That's never happened on this show before. We had the same joke. We were connected.
We were
Did
connected.
you feel it?
Let's just end it, guys. All right, that was this episode. We're gonna move on. See you guys next week.
See ya, the nun too.
None two coming your way.
There's a line where it says, it says something like, "What's the opposite of a miracle?"
Of a miracle?
Father. And I
Yeah.
put a nun sequel.
Sequel. What's the opposite of
I was gonna ask, what is the opposite of a miracle? Is
Would
it a
it-
curse?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, would it be a curse?
I literally and
That's so weird you said that because I literally thought the same thing when she said it. I'm like,
What's-
it would be a
The
curse,
opposite,
The opposite
of a
of miracle.
miracle, Vince, is the nun
two. Okay.
Stupid.
Is it weird that I googled what is the opposite of a miracle?
Right? No.
Okay, good.
What did they say?
A curse.
Please.
Yes. Okay.
I thought I was gonna say, please send us your social security number.
No, it actually no. Just kidding. When I did Google it, it came up with the trailer for The Nun 2.
That would have been a good little
That's so
like.
good.
That would have been a good title for it.
Yeah.
The Nun 2, the opposite of a miracle.
Yeah.
It's
Are you ready for a miracle? No, 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 no. Here's none too. So Frenchie takes off, and he is ordered to return in a couple days. So as night falls, Frenchie is making his way home, and has a brief encounter.
Why didn't he leave earlier? I mean, do you want to make that trek in
Right.
darkness? Why?
Yeah. He's like, hey, could I just stay in the convent? They're like, nope.
Nope,
come back
you
in a
gotta
couple
go.
Days. He's
Yeah.
like,
All right.
Okay.
All right, let me take my one little flame and walk through the forest by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so as he's walking through, he gets to the graveyard section, and he has a brief encounter with the hanging nun, and which at first I was like, "Whoa, is this another nun that hung themselves?" Did you guys think that too? Or
I think I knew what was happening.
oh, okay.
I
It was
expected
like
the nun that hung herself because wasn't she walking with a rope? Doesn't she walk through the forest and she has the rope?
First it's like it's hanging or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you see like
She
she's like
and she
walking
at a
through.
certain point he turns, he looks, he sees her, and then she's walking and she's holding something that's clearly a rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he picks up the giant cross from the ground. He's like, "I'm taking this."
Yeah.
You know.
After that's right, because she falls on top of him,
Right.
hanging herself, and then he goes. That's
I
right. He gets it.
misinterpreted that really badly.
What'd you think?
I thought that was a pinata.
With the giant cross.
Yeah.
Or the nun.
The hanging nun. I thought that was just like a weird pinata. No.
Anything's a pinata if you hit it hard enough.
Yeah.
Well,
that's true.
that's something.
So, Sister Irene and Father Burke prepare dinner inside the convent, and we get a little bit more information on Irene, and her, like, when she was younger, she would have these visions, and she didn't really understand it, and so this one priest kind of helped her, like, understand. The Vatican kind of guided her to see, you know, like, that these visions are kind of like a gift, right?
He's like, "What were your visions?" And she's like, "That I would be in a substandard horror franchise."
Taking shots.
Damn.
Man, shots
Damn.
fired.
But
That's right.
it was Mary will show you the way, or Mary
Yeah,
knows the way,
so
or
it always ended
every
with-
every dream ended with Mary will show you the way, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
What was there? Tessa. Oh my God.
Farmiga.
Farmiga. Yeah, in my notes it just says she's a very good, likable actress.
She
Yeah.
should actually be in more stuff. Like
Uh-huh.
I watching this, I was like, why isn't she like popping up in more things?
She was like, wasn't
she
she
should be
kind
like
of?
mainstream.
She was in a lot of those American Horror Story seasons.
Yeah.
So maybe she wants to do
Maybe
TV.
that's it. Yeah.
Was she in a movie once called like Final Girls or
Final
something?
Girls. Yeah,
that was a
with
good flick. I
Alan Ackerman.
Yeah.
Great movie.
had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah. And another thing about her, like, she actually, I'm surprised she wasn't cast as like Scarlet Witch, because I think she probably would have been like a really good Scarlet Witch in the MCU.
Yeah, it's weird they haven't scooped her up.
I know. I'm actually surprised by that too. It's like
32 episodes on American Horror Story.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she was
Yeah.
in Teen Titans. I love Teen Titans.
oh, okay.
Buried Child, Rules Don't Apply, The Long Dumb Road, The Nun.
Yeah.
Oh, The Mule. She was
The
in The
Nun
Mule.
prequel, The Long Dumb Road.
It's done. The long dumb road to get here.
Oh my God.
So and then we see where Father Burke, he hears her story and how, you know, Mary will guide the way, right? And so he actually tells her about the time he his past a little bit and how he got into the work he's doing for the Vatican, and he actually performed an exorcism on this little kid named Daniel. But the kid died, and Daniel, the kid, he suffered so much trauma,
so many
right?
injuries and so much trauma during the exorcism that a few days later, after the exorcism was successful,
Yeah.
he passed.
Yeah, and so
See, Rory, I paid attention.
You did. You came.
Yeah.
You came ready.
yeah,
man.
yeah, you did. Thanks, Vince.
You know, it's, in my notes here, it's in my. No, I just anything
it
crazy.
says power went out.
No, it says like no. I just put like this movie is actually a little better than how I remembered it.
Yeah.
That was the moment I had the realization. So I paused the movie and took a long shower to clean off the filth I was feeling.
Yeah.
You know, because
Yeah.
I remember like when I was like, this movie's terrible, and then I was watching it before, and I was like, It's a little bit better. Like, I'm not saying it's a great movie or anything like that, but I'm like, it's beautiful looking.
It's and then
the
it
acting's
does
pretty
play
solid.
Yeah, like the acting is great.
It's pretty.
Acting was great. Cinematography was fantastic. Whoever was in charge of locations, wow. That church, that castle, church, whatever it is. Was the horse?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's where the incident occurred.
He was a location scout.
How would the horse get there? Because he can't get close. How did he know about it?
Well, that's why I didn't want to go back.
Oh, okay.
Because of the incident.
Plus, it was too hilly.
Too many hills.
On record, he said too hilly.
If there's one thing I know about horses, they don't like hills.
That horse
Specifically
was
that one.
It was in his contract.
Too hilly.
He's like, I will photograph beautifully in your movie. You're gonna want me in this movie. I'm not doing hills.
Was it weird that I got 28 Days Later vibes from this movie? Kind of the look of it. Okay, all right. It was weird. No, just
it's
like
it's a good looking movie.
yeah. Okay.
No, so later that night, the radio comes on, and Father Burke awakens, and when he's like walking around, he actually enters the room, and the radio goes off, which immediately would speak to me and be like, well, that's not right. That's actually pretty weird, right? And so he notices the ghost of Daniel, and he actually begins to follow this kid around, like, so
Rookie mistake.
Because that's
Rookie
normal.
mistake.
Yeah, that's normal to do.
That's not a weird priest joke. It's just
Oh my God.
just
Fantastic.
that's
I was gonna actually make a game before this thing started, talk to you guys about it to see how long we could go before someone made a
that joke?
like that.
Yeah.
And EJ, I thought Vince would get there first.
Beat
I
me
know,
to it.
I
I wanted him to have that, so it's okay.
Wait, the priest?
the priest Vincent.
No, the little boy.
Young Vince.
Young Vince.
So Daniel is running around this convent, and we see where Father Burke's not chasing him, but he's kind of
We can't get.
I can't get away
No, we can't get past that now. I wish we didn't make that comment.
trapped here.
I'm dressed. So he's following this kid around, and Daniel leads him outside, and we see that this serpent kind of comes right out of his mouth, and Daniel's mouth.
The snake looked at the priest like, don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it, man. But it scares the bejesus out of him, and
Nice.
And so Father Burke falls into an open grave, and the coffin is actually empty, and the lid falls down, and then all of a sudden he's literally buried under the ground.
Like it'd been there for days.
Right.
Grass has grown over.
Yeah.
Hole filled in, grass grown over, like it'd been there for days.
Right, and he's screaming for his life, beating on top of the coffin.
That bell thing
Yeah.
on all the graves is terrifying to me.
Isn't it crazy?
That
is so
little,
cool.
just the idea of a little bell and that little sound is just terrifying. Which, as the director, whoever chose that was perfect.
Yeah. that was a
Again,
cool idea.
my mind went somewhere weird with it.
Yeah, go
As I
ahead.
said when he was ringing the bell, I just wanted to see a little cat playing with it, swatting at it.
Tossing it back.
Yeah, and you can make a little black cat,
Little black cat.
Make it spooky.
Spoopy.
I'll let Ella jump in.
Right.
She needs some work.
Yeah.
She's looking for work. Hey, if anybody wants to hire my cat, she's a great looking cat, and she works hard.
She likes bells.
She does. She loves batting bells around. Sometimes she'll change little stuffed mice places.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find them in her food dish. It's adorable. But let's move on.
Yeah. So Father Burke saw the snake come out of Daniel's mouth. He's like, oh, hey, how'd that get there?
We got our Raimi Spider-Man reference.
No, but so Burke falls into this grave plot, and the coffin closes and everything. Meanwhile, Sister Irene wakes up, and she comes across a spooky shadow of a nun, which I thought
A+.
A+.
Until
the music too. The music
it's
for
so
the
good.
nun is so good, like the deep.
Very good at building suspense.
Yeah.
But that sequence, it's some of my favorite type of filmmaking, just do something real simple with the shadow.
Subtlety.
And
You like
then
subtlety.
They ruin it.
I know.
They ruin it because she turns around and
jump scare,
the nun's just like, "Bah!" Well, because I thought like the shadow was effective.
That's perfect. It's perfect.
What would have fixed it is if Irene turned around and stepped on a rake and it just bashed her in the face, you know? She's like,
Same
what-
effect.
damn it.
Wile E. Coyote style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like, remember like,
Yeah, I
like
know what you're
the
talking
with Sideshow Bob?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yes.
We was just stepping into rake after.
But yeah, so
I know how to write a movie, guys.
Yes, you
I
do.
got cats batting at bells. I got people stepping on rakes.
You got Sideshow Bob. You're
Check
never
out
gonna
Ravenview Productions.
check it out.
I'm sure I'm making you guys feel real good about my talents.
We're doing all that kind of stuff over there.
Yeah, we're doing things with cats. We got rakes. We got that's it. We're very limited.
So, as the shadow makes its way across the room on the wall, right? We see Irene's eyes are kind of like following along with it. And then it gets to this mirror, and the shadow's gone. There's nothing there. But behind her, she sees the nun, right? So she turns around, and it's not there.
Had me until that point.
Yeah, and then when she turns back around, the mirror just shatters.
I'm a nun.
I'm a nun. I'm the bad one.
In case you weren't sure.
Yeah. I'm the nun.
There's a lot of nuns around here. Just wanted to let you know I'm the bad one.
I'm the nun.
My sins run deep.
No, I was gonna say no one. All you podcast listeners, you can't see all of the quotation marks that are flying around right now.
The nun.
I'm the nun.
Finger
The
quotes.
nun.
See that name on the fucking marquee? That's me.
That's me, kid.
The nun was really hard to work with on this movie.
She just smokes cigars the whole time.
There's a bunch of nuns running around, bunch of fucking amateurs.
I'm the nun. The nun.
Who's got the nun's tuna sandwich? You know who's an unhappy actress? The nun.
The nun.
We're not bringing her back for the sequel.
She talks in third person the whole time. She's just... She never says I want. She just say no. Oh my god. So Irene runs outside and hears the bells of the gravestones ringing, but it's all of them. They're all ringing at once.
She uses the force.
Yeah, she does.
To hone in on that one bell sound, yeah.
All right. She is able to find the right one where Burke is lying, and so she basically uses her gift to find him. And they discover, so she finds the grave, and she starts to dig it up. Meanwhile,
Which,
Burke,
by the way, like I was laughing so hard at the idea that she's like digging the grave up, and then
Yeah.
it's like the wrong grave, and she's like, shit. She goes over here to dig another hole. He's like, I'm over here. And she has to go dig another hole.
yeah, and it's just like keeps digging it up all the wrong ways.
It's like, come on.
I'm running out of air. Seriously.
I guess I
No,
don't
even
have a
talks like
gift.
Muppet.
I'm running out of air over here.
But,
That's getting edited right the fuck out.
No, leave it in.
But when they open the coffin, they discover that there are like not only
He's
a
laying on a
body is in
he's
there
laying on a skeleton the
Yeah.
entire time. Yeah.
the entire time, and there's books underneath, this skeleton is holding on to. So they actually take the
multiple
books.
editions of the Necronomicon.
Right, yeah, it's like 4 or 5 books. He's like, I'll get through these tonight.
Necronomicon Ex Mortis, a first edition.
No way! He's like, and he holds it up. He actually holds it up to see if it's correct.
Reprinted in 1985. This isn't. Throws it back in the grave.
So the next day, it is morning time, and they actually enter the abbey now because it is open, and they notice more blood on the steps.
Still fresh.
Still fresh, and actually
Hot spot
a
for
lot
vampires.
more. Yeah, and
Just keeps coming back.
they're like, this is great.
Wow.
Yeah, get a couple sponges.
Yeah, last time that was like A positive blood. I think this is O. Shit. shit. This is the Abbey's the shit.
This Abbey rules.
I love the Abbey.
Maybe we'll get an AB for Abbey.
Fuck Carfax Abbey.
Right.
Oh, that's a deep cut for you Dracula fans.
Oh, Carfax Abbey.
Yeah, man, I got it there. I got us
that
there.
was good, yeah.
Thank you, thanks. That's why I'm
so-
here. So I'm here on Freakquels.
That's the only reason.
That's what I do, baby.
Yeah, I make stupid jokes.
The Rory.
I'm the Rory.
The Rory. So Irene goes to look for the abbess while Burke goes to investigate and look more into the books and stuff. So Irene actually finds two other nuns, Sister Ruth, who is super deep into prayer, and Sister Alana, who is kind of like,
Won't shut up.
yes,
Just willing to tell you everything that's going on
Just
there.
like,
yeah. All the
I have
inside stuff that
all
shouldn't
the
be
goss.
talked about. All
Yeah.
the
Up
all
until
the
this-
hot goss.
Yeah,
Up
I
until
got the
this
hot
week,
goss.
we don't get a lot of guests.
Yeah.
This is big for me.
She just unloaded on her.
Yeah,
She's
she's
like, I'm
like,
going to tell
"Oh
you
my God."
everything that. It's essentially like when Rory comes in after I haven't seen him for 2 weeks. He
Yeah.
just unloads on me
I do.
about everything that he's done.
I'm like,
with a Tommy gun. Like, I went to see this. I did this. I did that. I was like, dude, give me a second.
I'm like
I love it
six-
though.
I'm like 6 from Blossom. You know?
Who
One
would
of
have
my
thought we got a
favorite SNL
Blossom
skits-
reference in today?
Did you ever see that Blossom SNL skit?
No.
It's kind of legendary.
I think I remember that.
Darlene from Sarah Gilbert.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Plain
Yeah.
Six. And
Cameron from Halloween Kills.
yeah, so she's like, they're balloons for a party, and then he pulls out condoms, and she's like, they're condoms for a party.
That's funny.
It's so good. But anyways, so Irene finds these nuns, and one is just pretty much laying out all the rules of the abbey and stuff. Meanwhile, at the bar, Frenchie finds out that the town isn't doing so hot. He's like, hey, why are they crying over there? And they're like, didn't you notice everything going wrong with this town? The crops are all dying. Their 13-year-old daughter just committed suicide in the garage. And it's just like, oh, I didn't know this was happening.
If
It's like,
Frenchie wouldn't notice, he's just busy banging every woman that he
Yes,
could
he
get his.
is.
Yes.
yeah.
That's what the goat said, anyways.
That's what the goat and the horse.
Yeah, the horse is just like, I got so much dirt on these guys.
Just
Horse
putting-
and the goat.
Putting them on blast.
I know what the problem is in that town, why things are not going so well. It's nothing to do with the Abbey. It's because everyone's spitting everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
everyone's-
disgusting.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know what's going on.
They were spitting right in the
People's
bar.
drinks. Yeah,
They didn't care.
Imagine if COVID was happening. Oh,
I know.
Oh.
They'd all be dead.
They'd be dead. All of them. So in the Abbey, a different part of the Abbey, Father Burke goes over the books and he reads up on Valak. Like, he actually, luckily, opens the book and is like, oh, Valak, all right.
the Valak chapter.
Great.
Wow, how convenient.
Yeah.
Valak's like, I shouldn't be leaving these things around.
Right. So he reads up on Valak, the Defiler, and how
She actually used to be Valak the Cuddler.
yeah, now just defiling.
Cuddler.
Valak the Cuddler.
That was,
That doesn't sound too bad.
yeah.
Seems nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Valak the Baker.
Valak the Candlestick Maker.
Oh my
All the
god.
different Valaks before she became the Defiler.
Yeah.
She tried out a lot of different roles to find out what worked for her, and
Right.
she settled on Defiler.
She's like, all right, well, this nun has this. This nun has this.
What's my thing?
How do I become the nun?
What's the nun's thing?
It's defiling.
She's like, I didn't think it would be.
Yeah, but I think that might have been a misprint. It could have been the filer, like she kept all the records. Irene gets the 411 from Sister Olana, who gives the history of the entire abbey, and a duke from the Middle Ages. So this is basically the backstory. Basically, this duke opened this gateway and summoned this demon.
He built that castle specifically for that. It was never meant to be a church
Right.
for any holy purposes.
And so the church
It got infested with nuns.
yeah.
So many nuns.
I've been spraying for nuns. Can't get rid of them.
So the church actually stormed the castle, sealing the gateway to hell with this relic that has the blood of Jesus Christ. So the key should help keep that at bay, like keep the evil at bay, because the key will lead to the relic. So that's where that key comes in from the beginning.
Weren't there like bombs being dropped on the castle too?
Yeah. So this gateway did keep the evil locked up pretty much until the bombings happened in the Great War, right? And which disrupted, the gateway, and evil was able to pretty much find its way out, as she said.
While they were going over this whole backstory, in my head, I pictured 3 screenwriters running down the hallway at the same time, and they crashed into each other, and all the pages of the script just
jumbled
flipped
up, and then they just
into the air, and then they were like, "Oh shit!" And they just
crumbled
scrambled
them
it.
all.
You know, like, well, what's the backstory? We got a World War II thing going on in here. We got a religious biopic.
Yeah.
It's all in there, and there's a nun sequel or a spinoff.
It's like, all right, well, I think this page belongs to you. No.
No time. I got a deadline.
I got a deadline. Gotta go.
Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
I
No,
think
it does. It covers the Middle Ages, right? And then it goes right from there to World War II. And it's just like, oh, okay.
It's all in there.
Here. Yeah.
EOD. We need this end of day. We
Yeah.
have to have this script.
Picture like there's like hallways. There's like 3 different hallways, and it all meets
It
in the same
converges
area.
into the same- yeah.
merges into
I gotcha.
and they all just crash into each other.
Meanwhile, the script for the nun gets put into what's that movie that just came out? It's like
The Nun 2.
The Nun 2. So Irene is stuck overnight in the Abbey due to the gate closing rule, and so Father Burke is actually getting spooked out by the Abbey, because the abbess he's chatting with the abbess.
But just after night 1 of being buried alive accidentally,
Right.
why would you stay there a second night?
Yeah.
it
Father
just-
Burke's like,
Because
well,
something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that couldn't
yeah.
happen twice.
2 nights in a row?
Yeah.
Two nights? No.
No.
yeah, he's just like, yeah, we'll stay in the Abbey tonight.
Yeah. The worst is behind us.
Yeah, I got a
So what's
lot
that line in The Hobbit?
out of the fire and into the frying
No,
pan.
no.
Or no, out of
At the very end of The Hobbit, he's like, I think the worst is behind us or some shit
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a real Bilbo attitude about the whole thing.
Yeah. And so,
If anybody would like to correct that quote,
yeah,
please.
please
Don't
do.
email us.
If you feel like you have to do that, fuck you.
Email us. No, guys, email us because we would like to know. Just kidding, we'll never read it.
We'll never.
You got a pile of emails sitting at home.
None of us can read them.
We're so
Can't read.
we're stupid.
We just can't read them.
We're just kidding.
Dumb. Yeah. What do we even have?
I was
an
like,
email?
maybe EJ will read them, and he's like, I can't read this. And then he's like, maybe Vince will be able to read them. Vince can't read
read them.
either.
Yeah.
We're all illiterate.
We're stupid. so
That's not getting edited out.
oh my gosh. So Irene, Father Burke is talking to the abbess, and as they're chatting, he quickly discovers that it's like she's not actually there. It's like this apparition. And so he's like, oh, because it grabs him, and then it's like the arm.
This dude just loves snapping hands off of dead bodies. It's like his
He's like-
favorite.
Yeah, he's just like taking arms left and right, like he's on The Fugitive or something, you know. I don't know. So it's just crazy. So then Irene, she wakens from a nightmare, and she goes down and she has this encounter of her own. First, she witnesses Oana kind of jump out the window behind her. And then she's just like, huh?
This was after Oana locks her in that room.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And so then she hears banging on the door, And so she didn't decide. She's like, well, I better snoop around the abbey a bit more and find out. And she actually finds the nun in this blocked off area in a very, like, much keep out of this area. It's like all these crosses and omens. It's like, please stay away. Like, the first sign is like, no, seriously, like, don't
go in
this
here.
way.
Whatever you're doing, just don't.
Yeah,
Don't go here.
Just stop already, please.
I was just happy that she was across the hallway.
Yeah, and luckily
That
it
was,
was just
that was a pun of sorts. That was a pun.
across the hallway.
He's going to have to explain it, and if he
Yeah.
explains it, it's going to ruin it.
Because
But
there's
go
a
ahead.
bunch of crosses going down the hallway, and so where's the nun? She's across
Across the hallway.
Oh.
Across the hallway.
You know,
see.
it's a lot of work to get there, to get to the laugh, but sometimes you got to take the journey.
Yeah, and you know what? I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Is that also a Hobbit quote, you fuckers, looking to rip us apart?
Hey, leave the Lord of the
Correct us,
Ring
go
fans
ahead.
alone, dude.
You know
What do they do
people
to you?
love when you are
Antagonized
corrected,
them.
like you get corrected.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like when you correct them, they love it.
Yeah.
So make sure to correct us.
Yeah, make sure you're really keeping notes of all of our shortcomings.
Right.
Because I'm sure you don't have any of your own, you dicks.
So
Doesn't matter. We're not going to read them anyway.
By the way, Freakquels is the leading podcast of hosts with contempt for their audience.
Fuck you guys. We hate you guys.
We hate you guys.
It's kind of our thing, though, that we don't care if anyone's listening to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So
In fact, I think there's something wrong with you if you are listening. What do you care what we have to think?
so Irene.
Scumbags.
Yeah, you scumbag. God, what are you doing? So Irene runs away, and
Does the nun come out at this point?
yeah, and
What was she riding a skateboard?
yeah, she's just like just riding it down the
It's
corridor.
like Bart Simpson.
Yeah, she's like. Dan, 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 dan.
Oh, don't want Disney sue
Oh yeah,
us.
yeah. Sorry.
We're on their radar.
So then,
Disney? We're on Disney?
We're on Disney's radar. Yeah, they offered to buy us out the other day.
they know.
$17.
We'll give you
Just stop.
$17
Just
and
stop.
we're being kind.
Ooh, you want
Best offer.
to? You want?
Generous. It's very generous.
Oh, you want to buy it? No, we just want you to stop. Here's $17.
Do it
Stop what
anyway.
you're doing.
We're just for like the world.
I
Stop
don't know if we
it.
can split that 3 ways.
Because we're stupid. We can't count either.
No, that's an integer. We can't do that. We
We
can't
can't
split
do
an
that.
integer.
Yeah, we can't do that. So
One of us is getting fucked.
one of us is getting $5. So. And it's probably me. Just FYI. So she runs down, and a nun actually tells her, go to the chapel, and there she finds Sister Ruth still praying pretty hard. And at the chapel, like a flock of nuns just enter and start praying hard. And and tell
You
Irene
need to pray. Pray harder.
pray harder. Yeah. And so
I want to pause that because I loved that shot of the nuns coming in, and then that overhead shot of her in the center and all of the nuns around her, almost
Yeah.
essentially her in the middle, almost like a pentagram, and she's in the center, which
is neat.
foreshadowing.
right, exactly.
Did any
Yeah.
of you guys, at any point during all this stuff with the nuns, imagine them all sitting down for lunch, and then Valak enters, and they just won't let her sit down with them? They're like,
Does Valak want to sit with them?
Valak's not sitting with us.
Yeah.
Valak's like, can
Can the nun sit down with you?
that
No,
habit?
the nun.
That habit was so last century.
Oh my gosh. So, as they're all praying,
Can the nun have a French fry?
Get your own, Valak.
get your own, man.
What about your croissant?
You can have that.
Yeah, that's fine.
We don't like those.
So Irene actually joins in with all the nuns, and they're all praying, and one by one they all start getting taken out. Like we see like
one
one's flying
thrown,
against
yeah,
the wall, and,
sucked away.
yeah, sucked away, and like just, and so she's just like Irene is just committed. She's not moving. She's just staying there no matter what.
Anything said in Latin sounds fantastic. Am I wrong?
No, it sounds
It's wonderful. You could say
It
anything in
sounds
Latin.
legit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be gobbledygook. It could be absolute nonsense. But saying it in Latin, it just sounds.
It's awesome.
Take this person seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we see where Father Burke is actually running into some crazy stuff too, and he actually gets rescued by Frenchie from the frozen nun, the one that was hanging earlier, because
In the deliveries room.
right in the delivery room, because he actually has a suspicion. He's like kind of following a hunch to the delivery room and stuff, and comes across the frozen nun, and they're kind of fighting off with each other. Is this where your thing died?
So a little bit more. I think I got another couple minutes.
Oh, okay, you got okay.
But I was just laughing at the idea of a movie called The Frozen Nun.
The frozen nun.
I don't know. That was just. I think it's got possibilities.
That's it. Hey, maybe that's Nun 3. The Nun 3, Frozen Nun.
Froze Nun.
Frozen. Frozen.
Let it go. So, Father Burke is rescued by Frenchie, who actually like uses the shovel to like take out the nun.
Frenchie uses the gun that he took from the bar to, what is it, almost essentially pistol whip her. And then he
Yeah,
makes the
that's-
comment
yeah.
of, why didn't you shoot her? And he said was something like,
I'm gonna save it. For
I'm
the-
saving it for something important or something like
Yeah,
that. Or in
yeah,
an extreme
that's it.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
See, Rory, I watched this
You
thing.
did. You got it.
yeah. And then, so back at the chapel,
comprehending.
Irene gets marked by this pentagram. Like, so Irene's like just committed to praying, and we see like her shirt kind of like rip open really quick, and on her
Oh, on her
shoulder
back,
blade,
yeah.
yeah, we see where basically getting carved into her is like this pentagram.
I wrote Valak just gave her a sweet tat in the power cut.
Yeah.
So now I'm in no more notes country.
Uh-oh.
Hear this, everyone at home? That's the sound of my notes being useless.
You don't have to eat it, dude. Just throw it out.
I'm gonna eat the whole thing. You can't stop me.
Just use some water.
Theater of the mind.
He committed. He prayed hard, and he committed.
Pray harder.
So now we're at the point in the show where you gotta tell me things that happened.
Yeah.
You go through your notes the way that you're going through, but throw me some curveballs, and you have to say, did that happen or did that not happen?
I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So,
I'm adjusting in my seat.
we see where they find her, right? Frenchie and Burke find her alone in the chapel, and Irene actually imagined all the nuns.
Says, well, we were all praying in here.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what do you mean, all of you? It's just you. And then she looks around, and then there's no one in there.
Yeah, she's just by herself.
Because there's only
One nun.
There's only one nun. The nun.
The nun.
And so they actually figure out that the nun sacrificed, the one that hung herself, sacrificed her life so the demon couldn't possess anyone. Is that true?
Read it one more time.
They figure out that the nun who died in the beginning hung herself as a sacrifice and wasn't a suicide, so that way Valak wouldn't possess her.
Okay, so that sounds stupid enough that it might be true.
It was.
It's true.
And we were talking earlier about how quickly she tied that noose.
Yeah.
They knew that was going to happen.
They
'Cause
knew it was gonna happen.
You remember the nurse, Jesus. The nun that got sucked into the room says to her, you know what you have to do.
Right.
So the noose was ready, and she grabbed the key, and then she ran and jumped out the window. She knew that she was going to do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep.
So far I'm doing good.
Yeah. So Father Burke helps Irene take her vows. She's like, I'm ready. Let's do this. So he blesses her. She takes her vows. And they make their way to the tunnel that can lock up the evil for good. They're looking for the artifact the tunnel where the artifact.
Which is a
is.
really big place. The fact that they found it that quickly was impressive.
Yeah, I would say it was pretty impressive. Yeah.
And then my favorite part, the next part, is when Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo come into the room and rip the nun's mask off, and it turns out that it was the old man that ran the amusement park the entire time.
Yeah, and the bar.
Did that happen or did that not happen?
That tracks.
Okay.
That's right.
Moving right
That
along.
seems right, yeah. So they find the relic needed to close the gateway, and they head towards the gateway. Like Irene actually is like, I know where it is.
She can sense it.
Right. And the thing about the relic too, they're not sure. They like get to the end of this hallway, and there's a statue of Mary, and she's like pointing at the wall.
There's
and
a little beam of light.
Yeah. That it points right to where the key would go. Is
And
that real or not?
I feel like this is closer to like an Indiana Jones movie. I want to say no.
That's real.
It's real.
Oh
It
my
happened.
God.
Mary
Did
guides
it?
the way.
There's
Yeah.
a little crevasse in between where the bricks are that she inserts the key perfectly and opens it, and it opens up.
Did the Mary statue wink at them after that?
Yeah. It went. Ding.
Yeah, like I helped you.
It was technically crying blood, I think.
Yeah.
So she was winking not at you, but to get the blood out of her eye.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right, I messed that up, guys.
so they get the relic.
One down.
And they head towards the gateway. Unfortunately, they split up. So
Because
that
that's what
way-
you do in a horror
Yeah.
movie.
So that way they cover more ground.
And more likely to die
And
by themselves.
which is always a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
So Irene falls into a trap. Luckily, Frenchie busts in where he goes into this room at where she's like trapped on a pentagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has to guess which one is the right Irene
Because
there's a bunch of
there's all the
people
nuns
dressed
in,
like her.
in the white dresses, and he
Yeah.
has to find out which one. And he's bumping into them left
yeah,
and right,
and all
too.
their faces are covered. Like they have like a little sheet over their face.
EJ is now covering his face with his hood.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, is this real?
So since it's so stupid, I want to say yes, it did happen.
It did happen.
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
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 Oh, maybe that's how I can navigate through this. If
Yeah.
it sounds
it's-
stupid, it's probably real.
Right.
You're
I
not
mean,
making
once
it-
they put Scooby-Doo into this thing,
Yeah.
And so, he guesses the correct Irene,
okay.
but when he finds her, she's actually floating inside the pentagram, and she's already possessed by Valak. So, they're able, like, he's like fighting with her, and Frenchie is actually able to save Irene from Valak's possession by using the relic to free her. Like, he uses like the blood from the relic.
He grabs it
and
off of.
wipes it on her face, and she goes, "Ah," and you see like the spirit, or like the demonic.
Yeah, the demonic demon sucked out of her body in a black cloud of powdery magic.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good effect.
Did
That
that
was good.
happen? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah. Does that happen?
I remember the blood being smeared on a face. and-
Okay.
So I feel like that happened.
It did
did.
happen.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So, meanwhile, he saves her, but Father Burke wasn't too much help in this entire movie.
No. Almost as
this whole
useless.
third act
Almost
is-
as useless as Jonathan from the Terrifier 2.
Right. He's just like, oh, he's there too.
Oh, he's there.
I
He's
forgot.
also there.
To
Yeah.
be fair, if I was buried alive, I wouldn't be much use to anyone.
No, after that, no.
He's almost like
You
more
did-
of a hindrance.
It's going to
in
take
this.
months to recover from being buried alive.
Couple
Yeah,
hours.
not- yeah.
Days.
For you, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
My whole life feels like I'm buried alive, so.
Yeah. One thing, Father Burke, he does lose an eye. Vision in
Okay.
an eye.
Happens or doesn't happen?
False.
True.
It happens.
Really?
Yeah.
A snake comes out of Daniel's mouth and bites him in the eye.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
He loses.
Huh is a great.
I just didn't
vision.
think. How old is Nick Fury?
Uh,
It's like the 50s, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, he loses.
This is a Marvel movie, right?
Yeah. This plays into.
This is in between Thor.
Man.
Thor. God damn. You beat me to it. This is in between Iron Man 3 and Avengers.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
where this all...
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I think that's where he got his name too, because he got bit, and he's like, Odin.
Oh, damn. So, Irene saves the day with some spit,
Which is the way of that town.
which is the way of the town.
Yeah. She
Oh my
learned
god, I didn't think of that until right now.
She saves the day
by spitting.
by spitting in Valak's face.
She's underwater, breaks this glass thing.
That happened.
Sucks the blood of Christ out into her mouth and saves it and then spits it into a nun's face.
It happened.
It happened.
It did.
Yeah.
Because it's
So-
so crazy.
Because spitting is the answer.
Which they allude to super early in the
Yeah,
movie.
that's actually kind of like
Yeah.
set up and paid off.
Yeah.
It's like a regular Titanic moment.
It's like, why do you spit? Oh, to ward off evil
Evil
spirits.
spirits.
Yeah.
And what does she do? She goes right in Valak's face.
Now, the snot rocket I didn't get.
yeah. But she spits in the
Valak.
face.
Unnecessary, too.
Yeah.
Gross.
And yeah, she spits the blood, the remaining blood, into Valak's face. Valak's, is pretty much sucked into the gateway.
So this is 1950 something, correct?
Right.
This is the blood of Christ,
Yeah.
which essentially is 1,952 years old.
About
I would rather die than put that in my mouth.
Oh. Well.
Is it just me, or are you guys down for that? Are you okay to survive to
I mean, I put blood in my mouth almost
regularly?
every single day.
Okay.
And I'm
That's-
literally drinking the
Especially
blood of
straight
Christ right now.
Yeah.
Literally been drinking the blood of Christ all night.
I was wondering why your lips were so red, but okay.
Nothing beats Savior blood.
Frenchie jumps into the water and he's able to save Irene from drowning. And she goes, "What's your name?" He goes, "It's Maurice."
That's true.
That's
That is
true.
true.
That is true.
Look at you go.
And
I got it.
so the movie ends where the three.
I read the Goats Police Report. I just remember it said Maurice.
Maurice.
So the movie ends where the three head off and it all seems well until we see Maurice. He starts to itch his neck and it reveals
A pentagram.
a pentagram.
True or false?
That's true.
False.
False. It's a
Upside down cross.
Oh no.
Yeah, which is seen throughout this whole movie, man.
Yeah.
Anytime the cross
I was
is
going to say,
like turned-
I loved how subtle that was
Yeah.
when she's in that room. That whole scene I thought was terrifying, where she's sleeping and then she wakes up and there's a nun in the room and then
Yeah.
she gets up and then just in the background, ever so slightly, the cross starts spinning. I was like,
Yeah.
that's friggin' terrifying.
Yeah, like the cross is like goes upside down.
Oh, because she's evil.
Right. Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
But the going back, when she says,
That's
what's
subtle for you?
yeah, a little subtle. She asks him what's his real name, and he goes, "Some people call me Maurice." Woo, woo.
But
Some call me the gangster of love.
Listen, no one has ever called you the gangster of love. Who's that? Steve Miller? No one has ever called you the Joker, or no one has ever called you the gangster of love. So just stop.
Probably a
right
smoker.
now. Or a midnight toker.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got that.
yeah.
Yeah, but the gangster of love, no, never happened.
I feel like someone needs to fact check that.
That's one of
song.
those things. Like, you can't give yourself a nickname.
No.
He definitely gave.
It's like
himself
someone's
that
like,
nickname.
"Oh, what's your nickname?" You give it to yourself. You're like
No.
wildly hung.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to call you that anymore.
Ladies, man.
Sorry.
So this movie ends where he scratches his neck, and then it kind of cuts to the first Conjuring movie, where the Warrens are showing the possession of Frenchie, and it's 20 it's like 20 years later, and they're in the classroom, and we see. I forget the actress's name, but from the first Conjuring, watching them talk about
Lily
this case.
Taylor.
Lily Taylor, yep, who was in The Haunting, oddly enough.
Yeah, she was.
So it kind of ties into that Valak was. That's the first time the Warrens kind of come across Valak was within because of Frenchie being possessed.
Hmm.
So it ties into the first one.
True.
That's how the movie ends.
So have you seen
That part
all-
was true.
Yes, that's true.
Have you
You
seen
remember that though?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Have you seen all of these? Have you seen
Yeah.
Nun 2, The Conjuring? 'Cause
Yeah.
there's a lot, right? How big is this franchise?
Oh, it's
There's a bunch of
actually,
Annabelle movies.
Yeah, I
The
think there's,
Annabelles.
3 of those.
3 Annabelle movies,
3 Conjurings.
3 Conjurings, 2 Nuns.
There's that one oddball one that's like
They
My
say it
Sharona.
counts. Yeah. My
What's it
Sharona.
called? It's like El
It's-
My Sharona.
Yeah, it's My Sharona, and but it's weird because they're like, yeah, it's in
I
the
guess it
Conjuring
counts.
universe, but it
They
doesn't
shr-
really-
like literally they're like, does it count? They're like, sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife was telling me, she was like, oh, this is actually the first one in the saga. It's good that you're watching that first. So when you watch all the others, it'll be. I'm like, no, not going to watch them. Thank you, though.
Next on Freakquels.
Next down for equals.
We're gonna marathon all
I
the
feel-
Conjurings.
Yeah.
I also feel that you guys, like, if I say something like that, you're just going to do that just to torture me. You're just going to make me watch movies I don't want to watch.
That's correct.
Hey, you know what else I think would be really fun?
What's that?
So, with this exercise that we just did, right?
Yeah.
I think we should literally have you not watch The Nun 2.
And then you guys
Entire
talk about
time
it?
You have to tell, yeah.
And then, okay.
We'll see. We'll see if we do
see.
it. Hey, write
Yeah.
to us, assholes, if you want us to do that.
Torture vents.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Stop calling them assholes. Leave them alone. They haven't done anything to us.
So I actually didn't see the Nun 2. It kind of like came into theaters and left pretty quick,
Yeah.
like before I.
Was that pandemic?
It was like a person
No.
who came to a
It came out this year.
Did it really?
Yeah.
like its release was literally like a guy who showed up at a party and realized he didn't bring pants. And he was like, I'm here. Oh, gotta go.
Gotta go.
Gotta
Yeah.
go home.
It did well. I feel like it still did okay.
I saw it.
You
Yeah,
saw it in the
I
theater?
did. I saw it in the theater.
How
I
was
see
it?
everything in the theater. You know that?
What was better, this one or that one?
After seeing this one again, this one by a substantial margin.
So that you like
Yeah.
this one, seeing it a second time. Is it possible you could watch that again and maybe like it more? No.
It just depends on like how many painkillers I'm on.
It's probably fresh to you still. So like I think
And whether or
it's
not you've
easy to
driven
determine.
5 hours.
Yeah. No, I think it's like easy to determine like, oh yeah, it's good or not.
It's not good. I mean,
Right.
like even like Becca's pretty easy with movies. Like you know,
Yeah.
what I mean, she's very positive about stuff, and she was even just kind of like, "What's the story in this movie?" Because there just isn't one.
Yeah.
It's just like
Does
a bunch
anyone
of,
return?
yeah,
Except-
like Frenchie's in there.
oh, Frenchie's is back.
Yeah, the goats come back.
Irene.
The goats come back.
No, the goats come back. Irene's in it.
Okay.
Um,
Father Burke, or no?
no, I think Father Burke is dead. I think they realize that they're like, this character is just fat. We got to cut off this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's excess fat.
Yeah. Okay.
He's like, we don't have any room for you, sir.
Okay.
There's no reason to bring you back.
Yeah, that is the only one that I didn't see, but it is kind of funny because if you asked me, like last week, where the Nun would fall out of all the movies I did see in the Conjuring universe, it would probably be last. But after watching it again, it definitely climbed up a little bit.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the first time. I don't know what it was, but I was
Yeah.
just like, this movie. I mean, it is. It's. I think my problem with it back then was that it's awfully cliche,
Yeah.
and it's like not a good movie. But I think I was just appreciating more on like a technical level.
Right.
Like I was just like, oh, like the camera's always moving.
The
It's really-
cinematography,
yeah, it's
the
beautiful.
landscape, everything was really. It
Yeah.
was
The
pretty. It was
actors,
well
The
done.
actors
all
are taught. You know,
great.
they're really
Yeah.
they showed up.
Yeah.
You know, like and then like the nun character itself, I just think is silly. Like I never looked at the nun and was like, oh, that's scary. But you know, they did what they could with it.
Yeah.
I also think that this kind of plays to people that grew up in Catholic schools and had nuns teach them. And like, I know my grandfather on my mother's side was lefty, and whenever he would write with his left hand, the sisters would come by and smack his hand with a ruler because that's the devil's hand, and they made him learn to write with his right hand. So I have
The
a feeling
devil uses his lefty.
I-
Is a lefty.
I use both. Sorry, I'm sorry.
I wish you could see the gesture that Vince just made.
No, but I think there's.
Those goats are looking at you, sir.
I think there's a. Jesus. There's. This is geared towards a specific person that possibly went to a Catholic school or something like that. That's my only reckoning of why this is such a popular thing.
I know in The Conjuring 2, which is where this character kind of like came from, initially it was supposed to be like a shadowed horned figure. It wasn't a nun. And then they were like, well,
I was thinking a nun.
This isn't scary. What's scary? How about a creepy nun? Good enough.
Yeah.
And you know what? For the record, when I was in Salem, I saw so many people dressed up as the nun. A nun was at your Halloween party.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah?
someone
Crushed
dressed up
it.
as Valak. Yeah, from the Halloween
What was
party and
weird
stuff.
was it was actually Valak.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like,
It wasn't a costume.
Who won the scariest costume? The nun.
The nun, that's who.
She did win, didn't she?
Yeah, she won scariest costume.
As far as all the movies that we've watched, you've made me watch thus far, I think this is one of my favorites. As
Really?
far as I enjoyed the story, again, cinematography for what it was. Actors were phenomenal. Like you said, everybody brought their A game. I still can't. I'll go back and look at some of those shots. I won't rewatch the whole movie, but I'll look at some of those shots, like the forest shots, where it's just a simple pan, but everything just looked. It was well lit. Everything looked beautiful.
I totally agree.
Costumes, practical effects were amazing. CGI was really good. I love the scene where she's in the pentagram and she's leaned forward, and when that demon gets sucked out of her, that looked awesome. Her drowning in that the water, I didn't love it, but that room looked amazing.
Yeah.
How about that horse?
The horse is fantastic.
The horse is good.
Not going up the hill.
Yeah.
Of course.
There used to be this show on television called Mr. Ed.
I totally agree with you. Like, this movie,
As far as the bullshit you've made me watch, this is. I
think
thought
it's
it was
a
really good.
Really good movie. Yeah.
I usually judge I'll set a timer like 15, 20 minutes in, and I'll literally look and see, and am I interested in it? And this one, I was 100% in on it.
So, who do you think's prettier, the nun or Michael Myers? in
Her
Halloween
eyes,
Kills?
the girl who played Sister Irene,
Yeah.
I thought there were a couple times where she had like contacts in to make her look, because her eyes were friggin' beautiful. Just like dark and brown and black and full, and
The actress just blushed listening to this episode.
she should. Everything about this I liked. As far as all the movies that we've watched have gone. Would you guys like my emojis, or are we not there
We're
yet?
doing
Oh,
emojis.
yeah.
Let's do emojis.
Let's do
All
the
right.
emojis.
My emojis are this, and I'll give you time, and I'll lead in by just rambling a little bit, so you can go to your text messages and then click on the smiley face on the bottom, and then look through your emojis. I came up with a cross, and then I came up with a horse, but the horse didn't come up, but it was a camel, and I thought the camel was hilarious, so I left the camel there. The flag of Romania, and a severed hand, because there were so many friggin' severed hands in this movie.
Yeah. I like that. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, I think I got something.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so I found the flag of France.
Frenchie.
Mm-hmm.
Like it.
I see a goat.
A goat.
I found a stop sign
Stop sign.
Mm-hmm.
For
all the things that Frenchie did.
nice.
What the goats were calling him
With the
out
goats. Okay.
for. And then guy shrugging.
The shrug.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you honestly enjoy it the second time around? Are you finding that for a lot of the movies that you're rewatching, like you may not have liked it the first time, but the second time you're like, it's not terrible.
I've probably said this a few times on the show so far.
Say it again.
Yeah, I'll say it again.
Wait, do you think people are listening to multiple episodes of this?
Yeah, man, we got a fan base. I got people like screaming "freakquels" when I leave the house.
Nice.
Although they might just be yelling "freak"
Quills?
and then
Quills.
"freak."
Because you're holding quills?
I am a huge supporter of quills. No, here's my thing with some of these movies. Like, I know sometimes people go in and watch things and they have like either it's the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world, and there's not a lot of like nuance going on. With something like this, especially the second time, I was watching it and trying to just be like, okay, this is what the movie is. I know what it is now. Did it do its job? And it mostly did.
Yeah.
You know, it made like a little bit of a spin-off film for like a really successful series. I don't think the story was great, but like that director, you know, he showed up and he made a real beautiful looking movie. The acting was good. So yeah, I think I appreciated it more like on a technical level this time. But like, you know, as far as the film itself goes, it's still like the same thing for me where I'm like, the movie is fine.
Okay, which is fine.
But on a technical level, it's like you really should give everyone involved with it a lot of credit because they made a real spooky looking horror film, you know?
Spoopy.
No, I think that like every single film should be viewed fairly.
Yeah.
You know? And just like, because I've never seen a film that I've entirely hated. There's always like some merit in there somewhere.
Oh, you never saw The Nun 2?
Even The Nun 2, you know, I'm like, I was bored by it. But I mean, there were some moments in it where I was like, well, that's neat.
I'm still amazed that this shit gets made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, millions of dollars go into get these movies made.
And then most people see them and they're like, eh.
Yeah.
That's like Hollywood today.
Yeah.
No, I always say this all the time. It's a miracle to make any movie, right?
Yeah.
Any film. It's like a miracle just to get something made. And to get it made at a level that it's kind of like this.
I believe you've said that before, and I've reiterated with, it's a miracle to get it made, and then it's a miracle to get it distributed.
Yeah.
Which is an even bigger miracle.
Right.
But,
And that's even more miraculous to have 3 loser-ass dickheads sitting around a table just making fun of it.
Yeah. No, but it's just, I love film. I love movies. And so I've
noticed that
appreciate
about you guys.
every single movie I see.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always looking at it not just like as a story, but even the technical performances and stuff.
Some films are definitely not even like the
Score.
filmmakers. You can tell like they're not as concerned about the narrative.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like not all movies are the same thing. It's not like
Right.
a one size fits all for cinema.
Yeah.
And
no,
I think
sometimes it's just visual storytelling.
and that's sometimes it's just good to be like this is awesome visually. Sometimes you get like a Killers of the Flower Moon where it's just like across the board. It's exceptional.
Yeah.
But
did you see that? Did you enjoy it?
I was
No, we don't have
the
enough time.
happiest
We don't
I've
have
been
enough
in a
time.
movie. Oh god, it's so good. Go watch it.
So good. But yeah, okay, so my emojis that I actually picked right now.
That's all the time we have for today. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I picked a church.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. A horse.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, camel didn't come up for you like it did for me for some reason?
Yeah. And a face drooling for the spit.
The drooling. Because,
Oh, there you
everybody's
go.
spitting in this movie.
Yeah, everyone's spitting, so I figured.
No COVID protocol. They didn't
yeah,
give a shit.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
So I figured that's good.
What was your overall take? You enjoyed this? Have you?
Yeah.
Have you seen The Conjuring, Nun 2? Have you seen all of those, or where does this rank?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, this definitely jumped. Like, if you asked me a week ago, it would have been bottom, like very bottom. Now I'm kind of like, okay,
Close
this
to
is
the bottom.
yeah, it's not. You know, the Conjuring movies are legit, really, really good.
My
Two
wife
of
was
them.
saying
Two of them are, yeah.
After I watched this, I said I really enjoyed this. She was like, "You have to watch The Conjuring now."
But how about you guys? Rory, do you have anything you would like to plug?
Always the same thing for me. Raven View Productions. You could check us out on the YouTubes, on the Facebooks. There's going to be a little bit more going on with that soon. Right now, it's been a little, a lot of preparation for other things. So just keep an eye out for the future. Fourth Cut Reviews, mofos. Just check that stuff out.
Yeah.
I took that from you, EJ. That's the one you usually plug. So I'm going to take away everything that you plug.
Oh, you're forgetting one.
How's your boy Mr. Farley doing?
Oh, great. It just dropped a new
track.
Yeah. It's on Spotify and Apple, wherever you listen to music.
Look it up.
Yeah, look up Adam
We're not.
Farley.
This isn't like a situation where you're like, oh, listen to our friend's song, and you're gonna be like, oh God, just kind of get through it.
Right.
He's great.
It's
He's always been
really
really
good.
talented.
Oh, he's one of my favorite musicians.
And dancers. He's a freaking
yeah.
exceptional dancer. And
I
you know
was
what else
told
is
you're a
funny?
really good dancer.
EJ's the best.
I was told, and one of these days I have to see it, that you're a really good dancer.
He
Is that
surprised
true?
me. Want to hear a
yeah.
story, Vince?
Wait, are you a good dancer or no?
Yeah. He is.
You're so friggin' humble. I love it. That means he's a good dancer.
Yeah, he is.
He knows.
Want to hear a story?
Please.
I think it
No,
was
actually, I
a
don't.
month-
I have to get home and watch The Nun too.
You got to be ready. We went to a convention, if you can believe it. I think it was EJ, Adam, Will Perna, and I.
Yeah.
I love Will Perna.
You
Hey,
should.
Will Perna.
Hi,
Shout
Will
out,
Perna.
buddy.
Hope you're
We
listening.
love you, dude.
If you're not listening, what's your problem? Bastard. But anyway, the four of us were sitting in this bar. I think it was called the Red, White, and Blue. It's probably
Yeah.
closed down
Yeah.
long ago.
Because of you? Because of something you did that night, or?
Just don't ask the goats. But anyway, we're all just sitting there, and I think they started playing Sweet Home Alabama. I think it was a band started playing it. And then EJ and Adam get up, and they start doing this like choreographed dance. I didn't know either one of them could dance at this point. It was early on in our friendship. But they get up and they just start doing this incredible choreographed dance together. And I was literally like, I saw alcoholics who were like rock bottom just light up.
Nice.
And that was me.
Oh, you were one of them.
I was one of them.
Nice.
Missing
Yeah.
all my teeth at the time.
Yeah.
But no, great dancer.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
So you want so since we were talking about this, I want to plug EJ. You could see him stripping at the airport.
It's called Last Mile. Right by the airport. I make good money.
Last mile. It's so sad.
It's so sad. Is that where we are in life?
Yeah, the last mile coming up on the end. Remember how much hope we had back when we were at the Red, White, and Blue years ago?
So much. Now
So
I'm
much
at
life
the last
ahead of
mile.
us. I know. We're at the last mile. No. So yeah, you got anything to plug?
No, I think that would be it. I know there's, oh, you know what? I would like to plug Jon Snow, his band.
Oh yeah.
You guys,
Oh, our boy. That'll be probably the previous episode that you're listening to.
Yeah.
If you're listening to
Right.
this.
We're in the
Yeah.
future.
We are.
Yeah, we're in the future.
And let me tell you guys, things have changed.
So much has changed from October to November.
You're
What
not
is
gonna
Jon
hold-
Snow's band?
Well, he has a couple different tribute bands.
He has a
and-
Godsmack tribute band, a Korn tribute band, and a
Limp
Britney
Bizkit.
Spears. Oh, that's right.
Right,
Limp Bizkit.
yeah.
That got it.
But yeah, check out I believe Real Line on Facebook if you want to follow them. They're John. I didn't give him enough credit last week. He is like the ultimate frontman. Like
Yeah,
he
he's
is
real
just
fun to watch.
John is a character, and I mean
Yeah.
that in the nicest way possible. That that dude could talk like you. He could talk, and yeah, he's very entertaining. I liked
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's real fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, if
Like
you see
from
him on
binoculars.
stage-
Yeah.
yeah. If you see him on stage, it's gonna blow you away. I'm not even.
I believe
joking.
that. I believe that. Yeah.
He's just so theatrical in
Yeah.
his performance and stuff, and he sounds amazing too.
Oh, his
Very
voice
vocalist.
is like velvet. As soon
I
as
think
he
I
talked.
commented on
I was
that
gonna say,
in
as
the
soon as he
episode.
talked into a microphone, I got really excited.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
And Vince, how about you?
I don't really have anything to plug. I could plug Three Jacks Burger Bar where we work, but it's
We're recording.
I'm calling it Three Jacks Studios now. Whenever we record here,
Yeah.
because it's like our
Yeah.
own little recording studio.
That's so true. Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about the burger of the month this month, which is called the Gobbledygooker, which is a 6-ounce beef
I
patty.
know you don't want to talk about, but just out of curiosity, what is it?
It's not much. It's a 6-ounce beef patty with cranberry Dijon mayo, shaved turkey, and a deep fried tempura stuffing puck.
That sounds fantastic. Does
So
it
he
come
t-
with anything?
Oh my! It comes with French fries or chips for $17, and it's delicious.
I mean, I know you don't want to talk about
I
it,
don't
but I
want-
mean, like, drink specials? You got those too?
We have new hours where we're open from. We used to close at 10. Now we're open from 10 till midnight at the bar. The kitchen
Do go
closes,
on. Do
kitchen
go
still
on.
closes at 10, but the bar is open till midnight. We're the home of the $3 Jack and Coke. You would think that
The
people would
home?
the home of it.
Wow.
No one's doing it.
Wow.
Other people are trying to do it, but we're doing it for $3. But no, I'm kind of running out of gas on this episode. I'm really tired, which is why this episode is brought to you by British Petroleum and Shell Gasoline.
Shell gasoline. And with that being said,
Our resident shill,
yeah,
Vince Napoli.
Corporate shill.
Napoli.
Napoli. No, but guys, thank you so much for checking us out. And make sure to email us at FREAKQUELS.
It's frequelpodcast at gmail.com.
And you could follow us on Instagram at FREAKQUELS Podcast.
You could look us up on the Facebook. We're on there too.
The book face.
Hey guys, just like and follow us. Leave a review or something.
Yeah.
Something on our on
Yeah,
like
give
on
us-
Apple, Spotify.
Give us 5 stars, but get nasty.
Yeah.
Like get hurtful.
Be
with
like
us.
like very mean about like how kind you are to us, if that makes any sense. Like
Yeah.
those guys are so awesome.
Yeah.
I just love the show, but they're just so likable.
And one, like, definitely seems like he would be a good kisser.
Why are you licking your lips right now, man?
Yeah. No, not me.
You don't have to.
Vince.
Yo,
Wait, Rory-
you don't have to be coy. Just
Yeah.
come over here
But Rory, why are you licking EJ's lips?
because they're delicious.
I did.
I'm one of those. Just let's tell the goats to go home.
Yeah.
This
All
one's,
right.
this
take
one's
a
for the
walk.
goats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one's for the goat. But guys, thank you so much for listening, and tune in next week when we cover, well,
None
it's a
too.
surprise. Yeah, a None too. No, but I'm EJ,
I'm Rory.
I'm Vince.
and you have listened to
Freakquels. I'm a Dracula.